Okay, so we are jumping right into today's explainer. And I have to share something I realized while staring at my phone this morning. It's actually kind of wild. I have absolutely no idea where my digital life actually lives. I mean, think about it. My photos, my highly sensitive bank info, my health records, even my late-night food orders. We're always just told it's all floating up there in the cloud, right? Right, exactly. For most of us, it's just this vague, floaty concept. But what does that actually mean for our digital safety and, honestly, our future? Today, we are unpacking a massive shift in how the internet works behind the scenes. It's a shift that is bringing our data back down to earth, while simultaneously making our software incredibly smart. So, to understand where we're going, we really have to look at where we've been. For the last decade or so, the cloud usually meant a massive, anonymous server farm sitting in a completely different country. As long as the platform worked and scaled, nobody really cared where the physical servers were plugged in. But here's the kicker. When your applications operate in another country, they operate under that country's legal system, which, if you think about it, is a massive risk.
Oh, for sure, because if laws change over there, it directly affects my personal data right here. So that whole assumption of borderless data is finally changing?
Big time. It's driving this massive movement called geopatriation. Now, I know it sounds like a word a history professor would use for some old treaty, but really, just think of it as the great digital homecoming. Companies are quite literally moving their data and cloud workloads back to their own borders or local regional infrastructure.
So wait, is this just like a form of digital nationalism?
Not exactly. It's really a fundamental rewrite of internet safety and speed. It's about taking control back, ensuring that if global regulations fragment or a global conflict suddenly happens, your critical digital infrastructure isn't just held hostage by international politics.
Okay, give me a for dummies breakdown of how this actually differs from traditional cloud repatriation. Because companies have definitely moved off the cloud before to save a buck.
Right. Well, traditional cloud repatriation is exactly that. It's usually about saving money or tweaking performance. You're asking, should this workload even be in the public cloud right now? Geopatriation, on the other hand, asks a strictly legal question. Under whose rules is this workload legally operating? The trigger isn't cost at all. It's geopolitical instability and jurisdictional control. It's about knowing exactly whose laws apply to your sensitive data at any given second.
It really boils down to what we call the 3 S's. First up, sovereignty. Countries want their own rules to apply to their own citizens' data, ensuring absolutely no unapproved foreign eyes are looking at it. Second, safety. If a global dispute happens, you really don't want your hospital records sitting in a country your government is currently arguing with. And third, speed or latency. Literally, the closer the data physically is to your body, the faster your applications work. It's honestly like moving from a giant, chaotic global supermarket to a local farmer's market where you actually know the owner and the rules of the house. That is the perfect analogy. You're essentially building a digital fence around your own neighborhood. And just to show you the sheer scale of this movement, according to recent research, by 2030, a massive 75% of enterprises outside the US will have a fully defined digital sovereignty strategy. Wow, 75%! That is a staggering majority. We really are rapidly moving away from that Wild West era of borderless data and building those digital fences at an unprecedented scale. All right, moving into the next phase of our explainer, Section 1, Building the AI-Native Future. Okay, so we've covered the where, right? Bringing our data home. Now let's dig into the how. I keep seeing the term AI-native popping up literally everywhere. But isn't everything AI today? I mean, my toaster probably claims to have AI at this point.
Well, not quite. Most of what we're seeing right now is just AI-assisted. Think of it like taking a vintage gas-guzzling car and duct taping an electric motor to the roof. Sure, it kind of works, but it's super clunky. AI-assisted tech just bolts an AI chatbot onto an old software process. AI-native, however, is a system built entirely from scratch to act, think, and anticipate like a human. So instead of you clicking around spreadsheets to make a chart, you just ask it why you lost money in April. And it generates the report, finds the error, and suggests a fix instantly before you even finish the thought.
And this fundamentally changes how we actually build tools. In traditional software development, humans spend months at the bottom of what's called the V model, which is the manual implementation and coding phase. But in an AI-native world, we literally bounce off the bottom because the code generation is near instantaneous. The AI acts as the implementation engine. Got it. So human roles are just fundamentally shifting here. We are moving away from being the manual creators, typing out endless data entry or code, and we are becoming the verifiers and orchestrators. We just set the goals and the AI does the heavy lifting. Exactly, and this leads us to a really fascinating constraint. The primary constraint is input quality, not engineering speed.
Right, because the AI isn't just a fun little feature anymore. It literally is the software. Since the system builds and executes tasks instantly, the bottleneck isn't how fast a human can type or engineer a solution. The most important thing in the world now is just how clearly we can instruct the system. Our ability to provide clear, structured intent entirely dictates our success.
To accommodate this reality, entire enterprise architectures are being completely torn down and rebuilt. Take the Anarch framework, for instance, which stands for AI-Native Architecture. It uses AI as the core architectural primitive. Instead of old-school microservices passing static data around, it handles probabilistic reasoning, continuous learning, and massive AI workloads from day one.
Wow, so it's not just some fancy database.
It's practically a living, breathing digital nervous system for a company.
Let's transition to Section 2, how this affects the rest of us.
Now, this all sounds absolutely amazing for a tech CEO or an enterprise software engineer, but honestly, I'm just trying to get through my Tuesday. Why should a regular person care about enterprise architecture and geopatriation?
Well, because these two massive shifts come together to completely change your privacy. Thanks to Geopatriation, your deeply personal AI assistant, the one that knows your health history, your daily habits, and your financial goals, never has to send that data to a server halfway across the globe. It lives locally, safely under your jurisdiction, and sometimes even directly on your personal device. It is the ultimate privacy shield.
And then there's the massive impact on your daily grind. AI-native systems are specifically designed to autonomously eliminate the boring parts of effectively every job. The manual data entry, sifting through hundreds of emails, the endless calendar scheduling. That is exactly what the AI is built to handle.
Okay, I love the sound of that. So you are no longer the person doing the tedious data entry. You become the manager directing the AI system that handles it. The whole job market is essentially transforming to elevate us all into orchestrators of our own digital teams.
So to summarize the core takeaway of this explainer, we are moving away from a giant, messy, wildly unregulated global web. Geopatriation builds a digital fence around our data to keep it safe under local laws, and AI-native software makes that localized data deeply, deeply useful.
You hit the nail on the head. The future is local, safe, and incredibly smart. And the absolute best part is, it doesn't require any of us to be tech geniuses to actually reap the benefits.
The cloud used to be this abstract, faraway concept. Now it's coming back down to earth, becoming a cozy, highly protected local reality, and it's bringing an unprecedented level of intelligence right along with it. So ask yourself, is your digital life ready for this homecoming?
Honestly, as long as my local AI knows exactly how to predict and order my favorite late-night pizza, I am fully on board.
Oh, for sure. It'll probably have the pizza ordered before you even realize you're hungry. Thanks for tuning into this explainer, everyone, and we will see you next time.